Welcome back, everybody. This video actually won't be out in October, turns out.
Close enough.
Close enough. We're going to come over this way real quick. Right? Oh, these guys were once... Oh.
You got the 15th, 22nd. This might be...
Is this...
This is going to be like right before Halloween.
Ah! Spooky, scary skeletons. I was going to say, what did that do?
It made spooky noises, and then showed up a ghost. Because it's spooky. Durgo's hat.
What is Durgo's hat? Is this going to be as good as the bell?
It's going to be better.
Which one's... Ah! It's a bowler! It's a... Ah! Ah! It's so good! Fuck it! We had an eye patch!
It's got a fucking eye patch.
This is great! Oh, Dark Souls, don't ever change.
I mean, it's not going to ever change. I mean, there's no more Dark Souls ever again.
I mean, maybe.
There's no more Dark Souls ever again. Never, ever again, Cody.
I'm sure Bandai will be like, yo, hey,
Never, ever again. We're done. No more Dark Souls.
Don't say something you can't take back, man.
I'm human. I can take back anything.
Anyways. Ah! Sorry for your holes, folks.
They didn't need those anyways.
No.
What? But Cody...
I figured it's Halloween. We should probably wear the skeleton mask.
You weenie. You Halloweenie.
I see what you did there. I don't appreciate it. It was bad.
It was great.
And you should feel terrible.
I will never feel bad for making terrible puns. Because you do it all the time.
It's fair. There's a part of me who wanted to change the Sharks and Things tagline to be Sharks and Things hashtag the funny answer. It doesn't really apply because we're not really that funny.
Ouch. I think I'm funny. I think I am, like, great. I'm the greatest. The best around.
No one ever gonna let you down?
You're letting me down right now, Cody.
Always. In perpetually letting you down, Mitch. Let's go up.
You're the best around.
Kill Carnage has that on his soundboard.
I mean, I would.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we finally got this door open.
I was watching him play Kingmaker and...
Pathfinder. I hope that by the time this video is up, that I have finally beaten Kingmaker, and then I'm done playing that game because it's a great game. Everyone should go play it, especially if you like CRPGs. But the game is hard. The difficulty just swings.
It is Pathfinder. Let's be fair.
I mean, yes.
A lot of people are actually very upset with the hard mode on that game.
People are upset because because a lot of people are looking for as close to pen and paper experience as possible, and between the different difficulties, it's hard to like set it up without the game lets you customize your difficulty, and so it's hard to get a pen and paper like experience with the difficulty. While a lot of parts of the game are not like the pen and paper. Like, one of the biggest things is that in the pen and paper, there's a feat retraining that you can do. And, like, if I recall correctly, every class can do this. Is like, when you level up, you can retrain a feat, like 1 feat per level, so you can replace it for another feat that you still qualify for, essentially. And in Kingmaker, the PC game, it states that fighters can do it, but you can't. There's like there's no method for doing it still. So there's also like you can usually this might be a 5th edition thing that I'm confusing with Pathfinder, but I'm pretty sure sorcerers can like swap out spells, even like spells known, like when they level up as well, and you can't do that in Kingmaker.
That might be a 5th edition thing.
I'm pretty sure you can do that in 5th edition, but I thought you could do that in Kingmaker for spontaneous casters. Because for like prepared casters, it doesn't freaking matter.
It's been a long.
You can learn everything.
It has been a very long time since we have played a Pathfinder 1st edition game, and I don't think I ever played a caster in Pathfinder 1st edition.
Just trying to remember, because I'm pretty sure that was when you leveled up, you could. But yeah, I might be thinking of something different. But so there's a lot of like nuanced things. Like you can't just straight up like in Kingmaker, if I wanted to, for instance, grapple somebody, I can't. Like I have to get a feat to grapple somebody. So like I've finally gotten like one of my characters to the point where I can do a trip build, essentially, where I've got my Jaethal, my basically undead Inquisitor. She can trip people. I'm like finally like I don't know, like level 13 or 14, I think, and so finally my character can trip. It's like ridiculous, like things like that. Those are the complaints, mostly about like why you can't, like why people are upset with the hard mode. Like from my reading, I fully understand that, because if you want the pen and paper like mechanics and experience for the difficulty of the game, but then you also want the benefits that should bring.
So the thing that I was reading is that like the like hard just straight up adds +4 to AC and attack to all enemies.
Oh yeah, so if you just go straight up and you just click hard difficulty, like all the monsters are like they have all of their stats and everything are like 20% higher. So yeah, they get like +4 to AC, just flat out.
Yeah.
And they get +4 to hit and everything. So that doesn't mean that you can't counter that, but you have to. It almost gets like no fun if you go that far. So the game itself, it gives you like suboptimal characters to work with, like your own character that you create. You forgot to close Discord.
I forgot to close Discord. So those people out there are now seeing our D&D chat. Ironically, as we're talking about D&D.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's Pathfinder, so there's an optimal path for things.
Yeah.
There's tons of customization, but you can create like crazy broken characters in Pathfinder, and this game is no exception. You can create crazy broken characters. It's more difficult to do, and it's more difficult to do. It's way more difficult to do in like a fun way. So like for instance, I was talking about a trip character. So there's lots of things you can do in Pathfinder that you can abuse the shit out of a trip character. Now that isn't to say there's not ways for like a DM to counteract that. Like you can just throw creatures with more legs at them. That makes it way more hard to trip somebody. Like you can't. It's almost impossible to trip a spider because they have 8 legs. It's possible, but almost impossible.
Just think about how dumb that sounds.
Exactly. Like you can trip 4-legged characters. It's really hard. Like the difficulty goes up by a lot for every extra leg there is above 2. So yes, there is a check to that, but you can technically trip like a dragon. But so there's a bunch of people posting online about like, oh, they're crazy broken builds where level 2 I've got like 35 AC. So there are definitely ways to play the game where you can easily deal with these difficulty increases.
Yeah.
But it is annoying that they are basically it's It's not better AI, not better tactics. It's synthetic boosting of the enemies. But like I'm playing on normal, and even that is I tend to find so many creatures still that have like 35 or more AC. And my characters, sorry, I've got like plus 15, plus 18 to hit. So that means I have to roll like 18s or better
Yeah.
to hit this shit. So yeah, it's stuff like that that's annoying. Yeah. So like in those circumstances, if it's one thing that has like 35 armor, it's like, okay, I'll like, I'll try to do as many buffs as possible, like prayer and bless and stuff, and try and get as many debuffs as possible on them, like uh, gracelessness or to reduce their dex, or prayer helps a little bit because I'm pretty sure that reduces their AC, or that might only reduce their 2-hit. Um, uh, Bane, stuff like that. It's like you have to make use of those.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Come on, Castaway Witch Donna.
But additionally, so as part of that difficulty too, is if you were playing the module for Kingmaker,
Yeah.
and your DM was running it just as the PC game is doing it,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be fighting nearly as much trash. Like there's a ton of like trash mobs like, in the PC game, which for spellcasters is a problem.
Yeah.
Because to be able to like get through some of this trash, which is synthetically boosted, you have problems where you're running out of your like core spells and your abilities before you even get to like a boss, like where you would actually need to make use of this stuff because you're blowing your load. So then it means martial characters are more favored now in the game. So rolling something like a vivisectionist, Inquisitor, for instance, where you can get like a ton of AC and decent like 2-hit and like the ability to like summon monsters and stuff all in like one character, it kind of makes sense now because you have this martial character that can just auto attack to overcome some of these difficulties. So yeah, that's a lot of what's being complained about. And I know Owlcat Games has been very has been responding to a lot of this feedback and criticism pretty positively. They are aware of a lot of the issues, but right now, the game does feel like it came out earlier than it should have. Like it's got, I wouldn't say early access vibe, but like a beta vibe to it.
Huh.
Because there's bugs, plenty in the game. Like right after the game is released, if you put on a piece of like armor that gave you an elemental resistance of some kind, like you have like 10 resistance to fire. If you took that piece of armor off, you would still have that resistance. So you could take armor off and put it on and keep stacking up this resistance until you were like invulnerable essentially to all the elements, or possibly if you had just overall damage reduction, you could be invulnerable to all damage.
Works as intended, Mitch.
So yeah, they've come out and stated that they're working on the larger game-breaking bugs and glitches and exploits like that before they work on some of the more like minor, like quality of life improvements that some of the people like that would help with a lot of this difficulty stuff too. And who knows? By the time this video comes up, they might have addressed a lot of that.
Yeah. And to be fair, this is a brand new studio.
Yeah. But I mean, like, for the first week, there was a hotfix per day, pretty much. So there was like lots of changes. So it wasn't like they were like laying down on the job. I think we've had probably 8 or 9 hotfixes since release at this point. And it's been out for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I'm trying to figure out where we are. So that was the second one we got.
Yeah, so we've got 2 of the 3 guys we can free.
Okay.
We just need to find
Yeah,
bad boy number trace.
and I'm just
Have
trying
you
to.
been over there?
That's what I was trying to piece together, like where that
Just
is.
go over there.
Well, I
Because
think.
there's a guy over there.
Oh, we've been. That's. Okay, that's that bridge. Okay, I know where that is now.
So we have been there?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't need to go over there?
No.
All right.
So instead, we're gonna go down. Nope, wrong button. Yeah, it has been a long time since we have played Pathfinder First Edition.
Like the pen and paper.
Yeah. And we played a little bit of the second edition, and I know they've made a bunch of changes to the playtest already, and I've not even looked at any of them. A lot of people are not happy with second edition.
I mean, it's... Yeah, there's a lot of weird changes that are, like, changed for the sake of changing things. But I'm very curious to see what the errata is, like, so far. I haven't been following it either, but I figured I would look into it again when I knew if we were going to be playing that again before it's actually released.
I mean, I would like to play the module. There are a lot of modules I would like to play. I know there's a new... is that a new... Is that a second edition module? It's going to be a first edition module.
What? The one we're playing now?
No, that's a second edition module. There's a new module coming out dealing with the Rune Lords again.
It's probably a second edition at this point.
I think it's actually a first edition module.
Because I don't see why it would be difficult to like rewrite a module for second edition. See, that's the thing too, is like there is still like a lot of activity on the first edition of Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And so it's been active for so long too that some of these old modules are just straight out of print. It's been around for like that long. And they've just out of print, but we still have new stuff coming out. Like Kingmaker, for instance, and Rise of the Rune Lords, which are like some of the most popular Pathfinder modules, are just out of print.
I mean, you can find them fairly easily, though. I was at our local comic book store, and I almost bought a copy of Kingmaker. Or Rise of the Rune Lords, rather.
So Rise of the Rune Lords is much easier to find than Kingmaker.
Yeah, Kingmaker I know is a pain to find. This is bullshit.
I think there's an anniversary edition coming out of Rise of the Rune Lords.
So the other thing with Kingmaker or in Rise of the Rune Lords, is those were actually 3rd edition adventures.
Yeah, they were originally for D&D 3rd edition.
And so, like, Kingmaker does not, or Rune Lords and Kingmaker do not particularly play well with Pathfinder as it exists today. Just because of the way that Pathfinder works now.
Oh, like 1st edition? Like where it's currently at?
Yeah, just like, it is so easy just to blaze through Kingmaker and Rise of the Rune Lords. Just because of the way that, not even like third-party stuff, just like standard.
Because there's so much customizability.
Yeah.
That's one of the things too with the PC game of Kingmaker now is, so when I originally was talking about this on this series, I had mentioned that it's the state of Pathfinder at the time of like when Kingmaker was kind of out with Pathfinder, but it's not actually. It's kind of a mishmash. It's like the character classes from that time, because like they don't have like the Oracle or the Summoner, for instance, but like the Ranger, the Rogue, and the Monk are all the new variety of them, the Unchained versions.
Yeah.
For instance. So there's been some quality of life upgrades to a lot of things, but you still don't have some of the favorite classes as well.
Some of that was also Kickstarter stretch goals,
Some of it was, yeah.
and like some of the races were all Kickstarter stretch goals, and I don't know like which ones were and were not.
I don't see anything about Pathfinder Rune Lords at all. That isn't Rise of the Rune Lords, and the Anniversary Edition was out like 2012.
There's like Return of the Rune Lords is coming.
Let's see here, Return of the Rune Lords. Oh hey, yeah. Continuation of the Rune Lords storyline from Rise of the Rune Lords and Shattered Star. And it spans from character levels 1 through 20. It debuted in August 2018.
Oh, so it's out.
Yeah. It's definitely for Pathfinder 1.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if it's still in the works and it's going to be coming out, I would hope that they would be doing it for 2nd edition then, but...
Well, the question would be, when does 2nd edition, the anticipated release of 2nd edition is not till like next year sometime.
It's next August, next Gen Con. They wanted it to be, the preview to be this last Gen Con, which it was, and they wanted it to be released with Gen Con next year. So it gives them a year to basically get feedback and update, so.
Yeah.
But one of the things they've strived to do with like the 2nd edition of Pathfinder is try to make things like compatible between the two, and not that you could like use whatever rules from each you wanted, but so if you found like the original like Pathfinder 1st edition like monsters or adventures, you could use Pathfinder 2nd edition rules for those adventures and those monsters and stuff. I mean, DM discretion there, because there's plenty of ways to like abuse and break stuff that way. But I know that was their goal with that, because they wanted people to take like Kingmaker, Rise of the Rune Lords, you know, they're like big adventure paths from the first Kingmaker, or from the first Pathfinder, and still be able to play them even though the edition is a new edition. Because understandably they didn't want to run into the whole like Wizards of the Coast D&D issue where you have these really popular like modules and adventure paths from earlier editions that are just like really difficult to adapt to new versions and new editions. Like it's really hard. It'd be really hard to like take. Trying to think of any like old school modules. Let's say like the what's the old school Tomb of Horrors. Like it's hard to take Tomb of Horrors and really run that in like 3rd edition.
It's fair. I mean, there's a 5th edition module for it now.
There's a 5th edition module for it right now, but 5th edition, like you can't take the 5th edition version and play it in 3rd edition either.
It's fair.
It's really hard to adapt that.
I mean, if you talk to Matt Colville, he would tell you you can run whenever you want, wherever you want.
Yeah, and again, it's up to the DM, because as a DM you could take that and just take it as like a guide and really run with it, and you could still make it work. It's just hard to adapt it.
I mean,
it's not impossible. Like,
no.
And for some things, it might be very easy to adapt.
I mean, Matt Colville runs a bunch of like 2nd edition, 1st and 2nd edition adventures as like intro adventures for his parties, like against the Cult of the Reptile God.
I mean, I think a lot of those old school adventures are great for first time parties as well, because they don't require a lot of like role playing to do. They just get you into playing.
I'm fairly certain the 1st edition, because I believe the map actually has how much gold each person in the town has and where they keep it on their body.
That's some detail.
Well, because so like they just assumed that the rogue would want to go and like pickpocket everybody.
Yeah.
So the idea was like, okay, so here's a town map. Here's everybody who lives in this town. This is how much money they have, and this is where they keep their valuables. It's on the town map.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like old school mentality.
Yeah, like if you've not,
It's not. I'm not gonna go role play my character, but I'm just gonna be a rogue, I guess. So it's kind of a role play esque thing.
so if you've not watched Matt Koval, which I think we've talked about Matt Koval on here before, he's an awesome guy, the king of Kickstarter, as he jokingly, mistakenly called himself, and now it is
Kind of hard
stuck.
to say the king of Kickstarter when you've had one Kickstarter. I mean, he's had a wildly successful Kickstarter campaign. Yes.
So there was a DM roundtable that was Matt Koval, Adam Koval, Mike Merles, and Matt Mercer. So Adam Koval is the writer of Dungeon World. Mike Merles is one of the lead designers on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Matt Mercer is the DM for probably the most wildly successful RPG show of all time, Critical Role.
I'm not sure if that's arguable. I'm pretty sure.
It's probably not even arguably at this point. And he jokingly called himself the king of Kickstarter on there because his Kickstarter did so, like, it's one of the fastest funded.
Well, yeah, it was like the fastest funded, like role playing
game.
Yeah.
And
like
then
module of all time.
And it's also the highest.
And yeah, it's incredibly well beyond like anything.
7th C, I think, is the second highest for him. If that's the one I'm thinking of.
Which 7th C is another like rule set that I would love to play around with.
Every time I go into the Half Price Books near our work, they have a copy of the player's guide, and I almost buy it every time. My sister-in-law is currently in a 7th C game, and she is loving it.
I mean, there was one campaign we did in Pathfinder where I tried to make you guys into pirates. It just didn't last that long.
Somebody decided to get ripped apart by a rock troll.
And somebody else decided to move away.
There's that.
But yeah, getting shredded by a rock troll kind of kills
Momentum for the party.
I'm pretty sure he like commits suicide because he was like realized that the campaign was coming to an end no matter what.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's true. He was like an alchemist with half the AC of anybody else in the party. Maybe not half, but like one of the lowest ACs and health, and he went and tanked a rock troll. So yes.
It's fair, I suppose.
I think that was like a suicidal dive.
I liked that gun tank. It was a dumb build.
See? Gun tank. Great things you could do in Pathfinder.
No. Okay. This is getting stressful, Mitch.
How is this stressful? Because you're out of healing?
Yep.
And you're low on health. You got some asshole giant statue thing that's smacking the shit out of you. You're running out of your old Radiant Life Gems. Jesus, old Radiant Life Gems, you're using those?
Yeah, it's pretty much what we got left, Mitch.
You're supposed to save those for a rainy day.
This is a rainy day. I don't know if you know this.
It's not raining.
It's just about. Phones are buzzing up. You got Discords blowing up. Which I don't know if we've ever pimped the Discord on here. We have a Discord. We don't have like a link for it though, like an easy link. If we remember, we'll throw it in the doobly-doo. Sorry.
The doobly-doo.
I like so my favorite term for the comment box. Doobly-doo is a good one.
The description box?
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, I guess our comment.
Yeah.
To the comments.
Yeah, the description box. My favorite.
Yo, bro. You're free. There's something behind him.
I know. There's also something over here. Okay, well, we got all 4 now.
Liam Lois. Yeah. Finally got them all. Wow. That's weird having a secret door here. I feel like this just goes out, yeah, into the...
It's a shortcut.
I suppose.
I guess. So what's behind him?
Why don't you look over that way once? Real quick. I don't know. Past, over the metal fence. Like it just gets you down there, I guess.
That was me tapping the button on accident.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, now my brain's all fried. Sharks and Things, Discord channel.
Yeah, Sharks and Things, Discord channel.
We're talking about D&D.
We talk about lots of things there.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of D&D stuff that I would love to run. We talked about the Patreon last time. Maybe we'll have that as a Patreon goal. Like, if we hit a certain amount per month, we'll live stream a D&D-esque game.
A roll paper.
A pen and paper role-playing game.
Roll paper. A pen and paper role-playing game.
Where the hell are we?
We're upstairs.
Does this lead to...
The end boss. The final boss.
Well, that's nice of them.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is to the Burnt Ivory King.
But is it guaranteed that that would have been your third night?
I mean, not necessarily.
So then how is that nice then, huh?
Because maybe, I don't know. Because yeah, there's a lot of D&D stuff we would like to play. So,
Yes.
a bunch of adventure paths, especially like Dragon Heist. I'd like to try Dragon Heist out.
Basically, any and all of the 5th edition stuff so far has gotten pretty good.
I would like to try.
Pretty good reviews on it all.
I would love to play a proper Kingmaker game.
Oh God.
That one not so much.
I complain. I say that because I know exactly who would be DMing it.
His name rhymes with Rich.
Yes.
But now there's a Pathfinder game out. I'm probably less.
Yeah, go play that. It's a great approximation.
I would love to play Rise of the Runelords. Hopefully, my hope with Kingmaker is that someone will go, we could probably actually make good CRPGs out of these modules, right?
That is my hope, is that Owlcat succeeds with Kingmaker, and then it becomes realized that, oh shit, we can do all of these Pathfinder old school modules that are really popular with the pen and paper role playing community, and release them as PC games because people actually like them. And you know what? That might be a thing. Because think of it this way: it's like once they have the engine, tweaked, they have all the mechanics for Pathfinder in them. What's to stop them from doing other Pathfinder modules?
Yeah.
There really is no reason they can't do that. Which is awesome because, think of it, I have put over 100 hours so far in Kingmaker. That is well worth the value of paying full price for that game. So, I mean, if they're going to release Rise of the Runelords, I'm totally gonna pick it up. So that's the benefit of having the knights. They freeze those portals.
Which does not help you if you can't, dodge attacks.
It doesn't help you if you can't kill anything.
Yeah. Because they don't freeze the portals until they are about dead, right? That's how this thing works.
I thought it was when... I actually don't know. But, like, he wasn't almost dead. He's, like, doing it now, isn't he? Something? I think it's, like, a timed thing, actually. Either that or it's, like, after they've killed a certain number of them or something.
Oh, Jesus. So much reach! Yeah, like, I think my other thought is that hopefully then Wizard of the Coast looks at this and says, oh, cool, we could do the same thing with our adventure paths.
I mean, they have that already.
Yeah, but they're terrible. Is the problem.
Huh?
So, like, I have I have one of them.
I guess I'm thinking of, like, Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah, they haven't done one with the new adventure path. So, like, I have.
Yeah, they haven't done anything with 5th edition yet.
So
obviously.
they have 5th edition board games based upon some of the adventure paths.
That's different.
But they've turned some of those into video games. So, like, I have the Chult one.
Right.
It's not fun. That's kind of part of the problem. So, like, I would love to play Dragon Heist. With, like, if it was like a CRPG.
I mean, a lot of the current CRPGs that have been coming out and have come out recently, they're all really good.
Yeah.
And, like, most of them use their own, like, systems or are based on less popular systems, I guess, like Tides of Numenera. But for instance, like, Divinity Original Sin is their own system, if I recall. I don't think that's based on any pen and paper system.
I mean, if it was, I would assume it'd be based upon third.
No, I definitely wouldn't think that would be a D&D like system at all. Especially knowing that how, like, the classes go and the skill system is not D&D.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that Pillars of Eternity, that's Obsidian.
Yep.
I mean, that's, you could think of as like a modified, like, Dungeons and Dragons, because I'm pretty sure that's their own flavor from having done, like, Neverwinter Nights games in the past, which were based on, like, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, like, so when are we getting, like, Baldur's Gate 5th edition?
Which I'm actually frankly surprised there hasn't been, like, a Baldur's Gate.
Like, remake?
Yeah.
Not a remake, a sequel. Give us a sequel with the new system. Because, I mean, the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition is out there and it works. It's great. It's 2nd edition, which makes some of the mechanics a little hard to understand.
Especially for modern players, because THAC0.
I mean, you still just want to get, like, better gear. Stack up better gear and it's boom.
Inverse math bullshit.
It's just weird because you want lower AC. It was just nice because, like, you look at like Thaco, you would add their armor, whether it was negative or positive, and then you just wanted to roll that or better. Boom. Speaking of boom, the gate has opened.
I feel like we stepped into oblivion.
I mean, yeah, it definitely feels like it.
Pick up one of our ivory bros. Oh, jeez. Oh, ow.
So just go hide behind your shield, and hopefully your ivory bro will kill.
That's not going to happen. Ivory bro has almost no health.
Yeah, ivory bro did like 100 damage. 200 damage. You've done more in a single swing than he did total. I mean, so far, fairly easy to predict moveset. We don't know what happens when he hits like half.
He probably like bursts into flames or some bullshit.
That's new. So his blade has got a longer reach. That's gay.
It's the... My brain just put Yu Yu Hakusho on top of this character. One of the characters has a soul sword. So he just gets the same moveset, just longer reach.
Yeah. And probably magic damage on top of that.
Probably.
Well, yep, that sucks.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, magic pixel? No, no magic pixel.
Ah. Damn this burnt ivory king.
Okay, so let's do this shenanigans. And then I'll set the bonfire. I'm not hoping for summons. I'm more so just like a full
The health.
The health bar. If there's a summon, by our tradition, we must.
It's even Lucatiel.
It's fucking Lucatiel. She's coming with. Let's do this, Luca. Who else do we got?
Oh, you don't want more than one. I mean, it's he's got a bell on his head.
What? He's got a bell and a bow, Mitch.
Oh my god.
This is gonna be great.
This is gonna be terrible.
His name is Twiggy.
The king is gonna be like impossible to kill now.
Especially if these guys don't make it through the first round.
These guys sacrifice their health to close the gates.
Yeah.
So yeah, they probably aren't gonna make it. Unless like Luca and Twiggy can beat the crap out of these chaos dudes. Magic pixel.
Those are the best pixels, Mitch. Who needs 4,000 of the pixels? I just need one. One very magical pixel. Speaking of, where the hell is Luca and Twiggy?
Good question. They did not come in. At least not yet.
Do I have to wait for them?
I bet.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe like they don't come in until after the boss comes.
Well, that'd be kind of nice. That's kind of the bullshit part about this fight, is that you have to do this whole first bit.
Yeah, you have to deal with all this, the waves.
It's like, hey, we got to do this bullshit, and then you can fight.
You're still gonna summon them both in.
Uh-huh. We'll wait for them to show up. We didn't get to see Twiggy in action.
Well, turn around and make sure they're following you.
I like Twiggy. Okay, you guys, you ready for this?
Are you ready for this?
I hear them enter this time.
I mean, haha!
Huzzah! You made it! Welcome to the shit show.
Everyone online is like, why would you bring summons? That's a terrible idea.
Because it is the tradition.
It's not. I mean, yes, it's true. Like, pretty much any fight that summons are available, we summon.
Some of it's for story stuff, like Luca was mainly for story.
Oh, yeah.
Because we needed to, but...
We don't need to at this point.
No, but at this point it's just hilarious to me.
I think at this point it's to try to beat.
Yeah, I mean, you're not entirely wrong, but also I need to maintain having some modicum of fun, or else I'm just going to abandon this game. I mean, that's where we're at with Dark Souls 2, by the way, folks.
It is highly unrecommended to summon NPCs for this boss.
Why you gotta ruin my fun, Mitch?
Just throw that out there.
Oh, we got one gate closed.
Oh, so the only 3 knights sacrifice themselves to close portals. The 4th guy, whatever health he has left, is what he'll start the boss fight with.
Yeah.
So he doesn't use health or anything to seal the last portal, he just seals it, I guess. So.
Oh, Twiggy.
As long as you can keep the last guy, like, healthy, he'll be, fairly healthy for Mr. Ivory King. And so I wonder if the health and or defense of the boss is based on the NPC summons that you brought in to this arena with you, or when the boss spawns. You know? So like, if Lucatiel were to have died before now.
Yeah.
There's still a portal open.
Yep.
Just hoping it's bugged out and no more will spawn anyways.
Well, I think the issue is that these guys have not lost enough health to go close the portal.
That's fine. I still don't think it's based on their health. Okay.
Fucking backflip there. Yeah, he has way more resistances now.
Get him, Twiggy!
I got faith in you,
He
Twigs.
doesn't actually have much more resistance. He does have way more health.
Yeah. No, because I'm doing like 197 damage, and I was doing 300 some before.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like just over 300.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You sure you want to summon those summon things?
No, I mean, we've done it. It's funny. I like Twiggy. I appreciate Twiggy. This fight's terrible.
This fight's terrible. At least you have all of the knights.
Uh-huh.
It was a pain in the ass to go get them. But To be fair, all of these DLCs have been longer than I feel they needed to be. But I guess for people who were playing this game when the stuff was releasing, they were getting their money's worth.
Yeah.
So, thank you, FromSoft. These DLCs are great.
I think
For a video series, wow,
yeah,
they add on a lot.
it's getting a little old.
So if they do seal those portals based on their health, don't you just want to sit back and let them get beat up?
I guess kind of.
Because you want them to seal the portals as fast as possible then.
Yeah, but I still got to deal with, you know.
Yeah, but like all these guys are going to be like pretty beat up. But I guess then your final dude will be beat up too. You don't want that.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's only 3 portals.
Yeah.
So. You could use some fire resist.
Do I need to switch back to the fire resist gear? I don't even remember. I think we're still pretty much wearing the fire resist gear minus
I'm gonna need you to farm 300 fire resist before you can go into molten core.
Oh my god.
Thank you very much.
I do not miss those days at all. Part of me misses raiding. Like, I enjoy dungeons and raiding a whole bunch in WoW, but I do not miss the bullshit.
I don't even think of that as like the bullshit. I kind of miss that where you had to be prepared for raids.
Well, let me tell you, there's this game called Wild. Oh,
there is WoW Classic.
well, that is coming, I suppose.
That is actually coming out.
I was more so going to
There's
say.
going to be a demo playable this year
I know.
in November.
I'm aware. I also got that newsletter. For I also bought a BlizzCon ticket.
The demo will be like right around when this video is coming out. So if you're watching this video and you're interested in WoW Classic, you need a Blizzard, like the virtual ticket.
I was not actually suggesting. What am I doing?
You're removing your weapon, so you're gonna punch them.
I thought I had my hammer.
Apparently.
I have it for dual wield set up right now.
That's a poor life choice.
Thinking about dual wielding?
Dual wielding in this case, yes.
I think it's fine.
But I mean, I kind of miss. No, I don't miss like having to do
The bullshit.
the bullshit for like AQ40 stuff. But like, if you were a tank, like having to actually get fire resist gear, like you had to have gear to do these things, and not like just a certain item level, but like the only barrier I needed was 300 fire resist or whatever. I don't know. I guess it's just another style of gearing compared to like item level minimums or whatever.
The item level stuff became like the easy way for everyone to like understand what the hell everyone was talking about.
I mean, to be fair, item level became a way for people to like for content gating. So if you had X level of gear, you'd be sure that they'd be putting out a certain amount of like damage, or they'd be able to take a certain amount of damage or heal. It's meant to be like a barrier to entry essentially. So you don't have people who are like fresh max level like jumping into a raid. That's what they're using it basically these days.
That's just baked into the game at this point, right?
Yeah.
It's not like because I remember it used to be a mod. You like.
Oh yeah, like Wrath of the Lich King was like when you first started doing like the true item level stuff, I want to say. It might have even been in Burning Crusade a bit for like the higher level gear, like higher level guilds. I guess not higher level, but the more active and insane guilds. You're just letting your dude just get beat the shit up.
Yep.
I don't know. I've never been in like a WoW like guild that was really into raiding. Like I've I did like a lot of raiding in Wrath,
Yeah.
but I would never. We weren't like a hardcore progression guild or anything. Like, I want to say, yeah, if I recall correctly, we downed the Lich King, so the final boss of the final raid in Wrath of the Lich King, the day that Cataclysm released.
That sounds about right.
So I mean, we were in like, we're casuals.
That was a good timing on that stone.
Heck yeah. But like even like in vanilla, I played with the guild and we did Molten Core and Zul'Gurub. We couldn't even think about doing like Blackwing Lair or like the AQ20 was even a bit too difficult for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean there's that classic stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
So
I'm still not going to be in a hardcore raiding guild.
So my original joke was more on the Wild Stars closing down.
Oh, I mean, yeah. But even WildStar wasn't never of that like rating caliber. I think I'm trying to think. I don't think anything. Oh no, Rift apparently is supposed to be like more like classic rating, like how their end game rating stuff is. But
That was a bad trade.
I still think like Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King were like the peak of like the best time for being a World of Warcraft raider. But I don't know. Everyone will have different opinions on that. It might have just been the time in my life where I had the
actual time.
the best like responsibility to free time ratio for like playing games like that.
So yeah, that's the thing. Like when everyone started playing WoW again, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. Like I have no commitments past a certain time in my life now." Whew.
Motherfucker, you're dead.
I was waiting for like some trick to happen.
We got him.
I took my headphone out halfway through that fight.
Here, I thought it was the intensity of raiding we were talking about.
No.
It just got you going.
There's the like when everyone started doing the like we
You take a break. You need a breather.
maybe a little bit might. I should probably put my headphone back in because there's probably some story bullshit about to happen.
I mean, there is subtitles, but it's nice to hear.
Yeah. We're gonna put the wrong headphone in, so I'm gonna block Mitch out. So.
Stop sitting on your headphones.
Or I guess I could put the right one in and then still hear Mitch. Examine. My heart's doing a little fluttery thing. I don't know. I find Dark Souls bosses to be easier without the audio cues. Just 100%.
You have a lot of souls.
Yeah. We're gonna pump our int up a ton.
Yeah.
And then mundane our axe. She has no regrets.
No regrets.
That was us in the last game.
I mean, that was you killing her father, I want to say.
Yes. This is a lot of exposition.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. So yeah, that was a lot of
Oh, holy
exposition.
cow. So Nishandra and her kin are the daughters of
Manus.
Manus. I was called him Magus.
Magus.
To Majula.
Yeah, because Manus is the father of the Abyss.
Yes.
Is that, yeah, that's his name.
Something along those lines.
So yeah, we killed their father. That's supposed to be like the link between this game and the first game, because like before the DLCs, it's like, okay, it feels like the same universe, but there was no knowing. Right? There's no like linkage there.
Just gonna get the 11 int. Mitch is hating this, by the way.
My eye is twitching already. All right. You want to call that for an episode?
Yeah.
We can leave the episode like
Yeah.
on a boss kill.
Yeah, let's do
instead of
that.
death.
And then I gotta figure out what the hell the next step is.
Giants.
Well, giants. I gotta figure out how we get King Vendrick's crown.
Oh, you
We need
kill.
his. No, his crown is not when you kill him.
Isn't it?
Not anymore.
All right.
We'll go between episodes. See you next time, everybody.